Welcome, one and all. It is Friday. We are Casa. We're bringing you a fighting game tournament. Can you believe it? That's a Casa Friday. Thank you for joining us. I'm joined by Captain Zig to open Street Fighter V, a Casa classic, our first tournament bracket, our longest running. And Zig, my guest tonight, also opened with us last week. Thank you for returning to the Casa 2 weeks consecutively, Zig. Let's hear it from him.
Yeah. Like, I'm super excited to be here once again. This is the third time I've commentated Street Fighter V in English, so it's going to be pretty interesting. But yeah, I'm super happy to be once again back here at Casa.
Well, thank you for bringing commentary to the world in more than just English. I mean, that is like such an excellent thing to be doing. How many languages are you covering, Zig? Talk to me.
Like, I could tell you a little lie and maybe tell you that I speak 1,000 languages, but I only speak Spanish and English. So I'm
Bilingual.
working.
Classic.
I'm a bilingual. That's right. I want to learn some Japanese. Maybe some Portuguese, maybe one day. But I'm pretty comfortable at the moment with just two languages.
Awesome. And getting more comfortable commentating in another one. I mean, often a lot of people think that the struggle with learning a new language is not being able to express their own personality in the like flow of a different language. People are like, I'm not funny in Spanish, I'm not funny in English or something. And so commentating is like, if you can commentate in two different languages, you are seriously fluent and like have a flexible personality too. All excellent skills to bring to the commentary table, no doubt.
Yeah, it's hard for me at the moment. Like, I have to think before I speak. Like, I have to Google Translate my own thoughts before I speak them.
Mm.
So yeah, like, it's hard. I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty hard for me, at least. Maybe there's someone out there that has more experience commentating like two languages. So I salute those guys out there, or gals.
You know, one of my favorite instances, one of my favorite people to observe in the fighting game community is Ryan Hart. I've heard him hop on to commentary booths for a variety of events and tournaments over the years, and he'll be like extracting Japanese to English translation from Japanese players or commentators, like translating on the fly into the mic. There's like, with the globalization of the fighting game community in the internet era, there's like entire professionals who can make somewhat of a career out of the art of translation. Like some of the work that Giuna and Majin Obama did, bringing an English language broadcast of Japanese fighting game players into the world. Anime Illuminati actually like earned the Illuminati title with that Fighting Tuesday
Yeah.
action, and all impressive stuff. Casa's going global too. I mean, we've had Central American players, North American, European commentators, Spanish, English. I mean, Street Fighter is a game about world warriors. A lot
Yeah,
of
that's
people
right.
from all over the world. Let's see what two
Welcome.
characters we have joining us from whatever nation. We're kicking in now as Street Fighter 5 kicks off tonight on Casa. The game reminds you it is May 7th, 2021, and today Nelbomb, the Balrog player, is fighting Rashid. I missed the tag. Here's a Rose costume. Don't forget to buy it. It's Luka Doncic, a winner's top 8 placer at last week's Casa. Rashid player the whole way through. Had an excellent winner's top 8 match against Punk, who ended up taking it over them to make winners finals. Crush, counter, crouch, fierce right off the bat. Nelbomb falling to the hypnosis created by Luka Doncic's light buttons. Just whiffing them in neutral. And a whiff punish sweep from Nelbomb. Trying to return to mid-screen. Here we go. 2 in a row.
Oh, and I really like the way that Lucadon is controlling this neutral. Looks like Nailbomb doesn't really know how to approach on the counter hit, but doesn't get anything afterwards. But now Nailbomb in the corner. Oh, this is looking pretty tough for Nailbomb. He's about to be stunned.
Yes, and Luka Doncic assuming victories where victories are likely the whole way through. A little bit too much of an assumption on that crouch medium kick into Eagle Spike, and Nelbomb taking huge advantage already into the corner. We progress, but Luka Doncic finds a VT1 activation off Rashid's medium kick. That is a safe activation classic off of one of the best pokes in the game. Very small hurtbox, big hitbox on those toes right there. Nelbom with the full screen lows, though, seems to have a lot of success controlling Luka Doncic's movement to a degree, but gonna have to build some more meter to make more use of EX lows.
Yeah, now this is where Nailbomb wants to be. He doesn't want to allow Lookdown to get out of this corner, but we can see that Lookdown, it's getting some much needed screen positioning.
Mhm.
Oh, and now
Yes.
we're back in the neutral, but just like that, Nailbomb putting Lookdown once again in the corner.
Luka Doncic finds a crush counter whirlwind kick all the way back to mid-screen just in one buffer. Fully loaded on resources, Luka. Built VTC off of the crush counter. Nailbomb lagging behind on the V-trigger end. Could be a big activation from Luka. I'm sure they're looking for something big.
Oh, and here it comes, the big tornado from Rashid. Nice neutral jump, but that tornado, you know, that it's such a good way to maintaining pressure against your opponents and the thick throw. And now things are getting scary for Nailbomb.
Yeah, you can see though, Nailbomb, wise on defense, finds a punish after whirlwind kick. All the way to the corner we go. This Oki could be fatal. And a walk-up command grab predicted by Luka, who doesn't find a kill combo. Nailbomb defending for his life. Luka Doncic defending to take the game, knowing that Nailbomb's only plan of attack in such a desperate situation had to be something now, instantly. That threat was going to be V-skill. It was going to get checked by that crouch light punch. Luka Doncic takes game one.
Yeah, and we can see that Nail, he's ready for with those punishes. Every time that Luka sends out these Rashid kicks, what were the name of these
Eagle
kicks?
Spike?
Yeah, the Eagle Spike. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
We can see that Nailbomb, he's ready with those punishes. So Lukaton has to play this game a little bit more patiently, and you know, Rashid, he's not a character that was designed with patience in mind.
Right. Instantaneous reward. I mean, you're selling it, he's buying it. He's got the money. Descendant of royalty and royal treatment you receive when you anti-air with heavy mixer, keeping the opponent in the corner, mounting a stun sequence as a result. Luka Doncic finds it. Nailbomb walking forward into his stand fierce. Maybe trying to be aggressive unexpectedly with stun so high, but Luka Doncic did not mind. It was no hard task for him to press another HP.
And we can see that Lukaton was starting the second round with a pretty heavy button, and he's just throwing these normals against Nailbomb, and Nailbomb is not pressing a single button, goes with the EX. But now, ooh, Lukaton, you know, he's losing that patience that we were just talking about.
And Nailbomb reaping the benefits of patience. The first mixer on block, Nailbomb just continues blocking, forgets about the -2 situation. Now is a life lead in this round, a round that will prove critical in slowing Luka Doncic's momentum in what could be a very one-sided set if they're able to come back from this one.
Yeah, and Lukaton ready with those anti-airs, punishing the B-shift, or the attempt of B-shift. Now, Nailbomb once again in the corner. This is how it feels to be in the corner, you Balrog mains.
And then a V reversal lowering the stun, but Luka Doncic has a potential set closer with that VT activation. Instead, V shift gets punished. Nailbomb looking for a kill, has the life lead as well. It's not going to be anti. Luka Doncic baits it once again with yet another dive kick. Always willing to take the risk if it'll lead to a victory. No punishment overhead. Nailbomb probably did the best they could. Maybe had to do crouch medium punch. And look, you bait a throw, but Nailbomb is checking only safely. Quick recovery on lights enables them to still block in time for the Eagle Spike punish. We're still playing.
Yeah, Lukaton, he was going all out with that Eagle Spike, but now Nailbomb, he could take this second game. Lukaton was so close. Nice punish. Nice stack on the side of Nailbomb, deciding to spend one candy bar on the candy store, and now he's out of candies, he's out of resources. Nice punish on that bishop, and now Lukaton, he has all the candies in the candy store.
All this started from one Eagle Spike punish on a whiff, and with this, it's a pretty low scaling stun combo. Nailbomb gets a second chance at life and a V-trigger activation to boot. Waiting. Luka Doncic would have taken the command grab. Stun on the next one. Be careful. It does 300. Ah, Nailbomb. So eager for the stun. Luka Doncic so willing to win the game immediately by backdashing past that command grab. Luka knew just as well as Nell that stunning with command grab as soon as possible was the only viable option to take that game and extend the set. Instead, this set ended a little prematurely for Nailbomb. ended just right on time for Luka Doncic, who wants to keep this pace up as they advance through winner's bracket here in Casa.
Yeah, and like that last attempt of command grab, like you were saying, Nailbomb knew that that was probably the best option that he had in the moment. If that command grab had reached, it was probably game for Nailbomb. So it just
Mhm.
goes to show like the decision making that these players have, and also look at on with the awareness. He knew that Nailbomb knew, so he outsmarted him. Like he pulled a JoJo on him,
That
Joseph Joestar.
Yeah, and I think in a knockdown situation like Nailbomb was placed in, a lot of Balrog players will hesitate to jump forward just because Rog doesn't have a cross up. They don't want to land on the other side. But sometimes jump is the most creative solution to what is otherwise going to be a scramble situation. Like when you're desperate to close something out, if they don't anti-air you and you make it to the other side, I mean, there might be a chance it just like landed a little light, maybe a light ticked into command grab, empty jump command grab. I mean, that's a classic. Every grappler knows that. But again, like Balrog, he's not trying to mess with like the Oki situation after command grab isn't so good, so he does need to fully forward dash, and that isn't going to be like a frame wise like real threat. It's not like scientifically viable Oki.
Yeah,
So backdash is a perfectly viable option as well. Anyway, we got
yeah.
a whole new match coming in. Can't get hung up on the past. We move forward because we're trying to improve. It's Adam R and Mylin, two players both rocking orange colors for their characters in perfect synchronistic union.
Man, orange. I really like orange. Probably my third favorite color.
So this
But
must be your first favorite match of the night then, because they are treating our
yeah.
eyes to a coordinated feast of color. Orange and blue.
Ooh, and we can see that May is rocking the poison, and Adam he's with the little brother of Gil, the king of the Illuminatis. Oh, nice with punish on that headbutt, and they are pretty even when it comes to life. Oh, well, not anymore.
Yeah, right. It was although Adamar is progressing towards the V trigger, earned it. Mylin found a whip punish using projectile immunity on that EX cartwheel. Adamar really needs to find a place to activate. Could come from an EX shoulder, don't you forget. Instead, looking for a punish against Crouch Heavy Punch. A very viable option is Crouch Heavy Punch from Poison's like -11, but didn't come on time.
Oh, and now Adam, he could still take this. He still has one mirror left, and he's about to build one EX bar. He's gotta be careful with those jump-ins because if May is ready with those anti-airs, you know that's round 4 for Adam.
Mylin, if they block one more projectile, could find a VT activation, which would be even. But yep, Crouch Medium Punch gave it. Mylin willing to give it up for the V reversal as soon as possible, though, into a chip out situation. Not gonna. Who's gonna deny themselves a round one victory? Not me.
Yeah, not me. That's a pretty important victory to have, especially in a first two set. And something that mainly has been doing really well is just controlling the neutral. Like Adam hasn't really gotten any chance to start his offensive, but here it is with this jumping. Now May is in the corner.
And seems to be very firmly placed there. Adamar, though, maybe out of respect of Poison's 3-frame option, after a pretty ambiguous shoulder tackle spacing, decided not to press, and Mylin pressed with the 4-frame instead. Poison's best frame trap button, +2, +3 on block, I think.
Ooh,
And
this
the
is
super buffer.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the two piece that you cannot afford to get hit by when Poison has super. And it says chip for round 1, super for round 2. The point here is that Poison will always have enough meter to kill with super when she needs, so long as her strategy is this kind of defensive play that we're seeing from Mylin, where many normals are canceled into heart rate. Chip adds up, meter builds. It happens fast.
Yeah, like she's one of those characters that doesn't really care about spending bar. There are some characters that like to save meter for the next round, but you can clearly see that Poison, well, when she's got the money, she likes to spend it. And now once again, mainly she's just controlling the neutral against Adam.
Yep, even found a confirmable whiff punish against Adamar's misspaced shoulder tackle. And already a bar and a half for Mylan, almost two. Building even more on this punish combo. Looking for the medium meaty, a +3 on block button from Poison, very strong one. 6-framer as well, but not the option that we needed to see there. Core kick, but no counter hit confirm. Adamar, I'm sure. Not pleased with that. Probably meant to see a stronger combo there.
Now we can see that Maylin has the life lead, but it's still on the corner. So Adam will still take this round, and just like that, that possibility is gonna be snuffed out of the window. And once again, Maylin just spending this critical art.
Yeah, the super is around at a time when Adamar is getting their first chance at a V-Trigger mirror activation. And super's doing enough damage to deny the Adam the chance to activate the V-Trigger. I mean, we haven't seen a single effective mirror situation yet, and Mylan could potentially take the set with this round. Imagine a whole Urian set without a successful mirror mix-up.
Yeah, like, let me tell you something, that will be pretty weird. Make a wish if that happens. Oh, but nice punish. And now we can see that Adamar doesn't want to know anything about this corner, so he quickly jumps to the other side of Maylin to try and put them back into that left corner. But now Maylin can activate V-Trigger, and
that could have, with a little bit more meter, super would have been there on the confirm, could have killed. Instead, Adamar finds an excellent use of mirror, taking Mylan to the corner in a situation where Mylan will take the throw, but Chip could add up soon here for Urian. He can build super. Mylan does have V-reversal, but it all depends upon what happens next.
One confirm away from
as well. Instead, a throw is taken. Adamar decided to take the throw to the round point, advancing us to final round in this game too. Could be 1-1, or the set could end and both have full meter to make it so.
Yeah, that's right. That means that Adamar can spend some of that bar to try and getting on Maylin. But now Adamar, he's getting close to this corner. Maylin already has, and spending one bar, looks like it's not going to be a critical art finish for this round.
Yeah, and that's the kind of situation when stun is so high, you can't fault from Mylan wanting to become +1 and bring the opponent in a close range for a mix-up. Urian, as a 4-frame character, has no reliable escape options from the real strike throw mix-up there. Getting frame trap with a 5-frame throw. Mylan, though, regardless of super, will be able to kill with a 2-bar combo at this point, maybe even 1, especially now that Adamar has taken the throw and is denied the chance to activate mirror once again. Mylan scouts out one final headbutt and finds the punish into the kill, into the set victory for a 2-0 victory against Adamar.
And super solid play from Maylin. Like, they were put like maybe once or twice at a disadvantage stage. Like, they kept a lot of the upper hand in the set.
Yeah, that's true. We saw Adamar take one round, but it was a pretty tight round as well. They were able to take with a dash up throw. I've taken many rounds with dash up throw. That does not any indicator that you were not in control, but it is a risky play, and it was made with nothing close to a life lead. It was with a life deficit. It was pretty brave, and it doesn't indicate that you were in control of the set at any point.
Oh, it looks like we are gonna have coming up next an Akuma main, Sea Fighters on Goku.
Okay, cool. In this particular minute, I'm currently playing my favorite Casa game. It's our Matcherino page. I'm only a speedrunner for this page. I quickly just glanced at the title of the page to check for the coupon code that will spawn 50 cents into our prize pool for free. And tonight it is simply Casa SF5 54. In the Twitch chat, you can scroll up and see a link to our Matcherino page. Add some money to the prize pool yourself with that speedrun strategy that I just listed out for you. Just a few simple steps and simple clicks, and our players get to go home, a couple of them anyway, first, second, and third, get to go home or stay home with however much money they're able to take out of our lovely Matcherino prize pool.
Like, don't underestimate the power of 50 cents. Like, that is pretty much 10 pesos here in Mexico, and you can buy probably like maybe 5 pieces of candy with 10 pesos. Like, there's this little
That's
candy called
fantastic.
pica fresas. So yeah,
Pica
use
fresa.
that Macherino code.
Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. Like, and imagine that one of our winners tonight will be able to go home with a couple pieces of candy at least. If not, they got a fat Maturino wallet. They can start supporting other tournament prize pools
Yeah,
without even having to take any money out of the wallet.
they can buy a bunch of pica fresas with that money. They cost
Yeah,
like
yeah.
50 cents, but those are not 50 cents from dollar cents, they are 50 pesos cents. So they are pretty cheap candy. Let's leave it at that.
And like all pretty cheap candy, it is the most satisfying among them because you can engage with it in the most bountiful of quantities.
Yeah.
I feel the same about the amount of players that we have tonight in our Street Fighter V bracket, all of which enjoy some cheap shit. I mean, we're talking V-trigger cancel activations, plus on block, loopable Oki on command grabs. I know all of you hounds of offense are coming out of the woodwork tonight for our Casa bracket. I'm going to check how many people are actually in it so I can make some kind of calculation about the cheapness of our players. And I can do that right now with our little chat command, bracket, with an exclamation point before it. And there it is.
Look, I can already see that we have players like Shine here in this edition of Casa. So looks like the cheapness it's pretty real.
Ooh, Maturino's very own Surmi in this bracket. Staying in winners, having beaten Yeet 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 2-1. Nice to see you, Surmi. Thank you for supporting the prize pool, both with your presence as a player, a prize to beat, I'm sure, for maybe Flex Waves, who is awaiting you in winners round 2, and also for, helping out in Maturino. So we have a new
And
match loading in now. So many matches to make conjecture on it here, but we only get to talk about one starting now.
oh, Crisp with the Colleen.
Crisp Colleen. Crisp is often an adjective I hear used to describe fighting game players who think their neutral is clean, crisp. Often those two words are paired together as single syllable words that start with the letter C. That sentence itself a work of alliteration. Clean and crisp, also alliteration. And I wonder if the playstyle of Crisp will be emblematic of that language, right? Is it going to be clean and crisp? Or are we going to make a mess of Z Fighter Son Goku, who is playing one of the dirtiest characters in the game, if I may say so myself?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree on that one, but looks like we've actually seen some pretty clean, some pretty crisp neutral, just like you were saying, from both of these players. Not a lot of buttons are being whipped.
Yeah, Z Fighter Son Goku, very patient. Not something you expect of Goku himself, but I mean, this is Capcom Cup 2016 title card Z Fighter Son Goku. All right, he was there back in the era of offline. He was training, acquiring knowledge for the Band of Falcons. Hey, I've never seen a double light Parabellum combo from Colleen like that. So that's some new
No.
knowledge for me.
There,
So
just like that.
very smart of Crisp to be challenging with Colleen's 3-frame crouch jab. Found a counter hit just as Z Fighter Son Goku thought they were able to frame trap into a throw. Probably would have been a back throw into the corner. Akuma with full VT1, that could have been a nightmare situation. Instead, Crisp found a stun by mashing out of it. Very smart.
Yeah, very smart, very smart. But now it looks like Crisp once again has Z Fighter Son Goku in the corner. Nice confirm, and he just opts to switch sides. He doesn't want to know anything about that corner. Nice whip punish on the side of Son Goku. He wants to keep his pressure going, but now we're back in the neutral and couldn't really get anything after that hit. Well, looks like Z Fighter Goku has full meter, but the activation from Crisp cool.
And a
turnaround.
late hit on Fireball. Such a functional dive kick there from Akuma on a character that also has a dive kick. And the icy neutral jump confused the Fighter Son Goku. Nothing in the way of a crosscut anti-air DP. Crispy almost got away with another Oki situation there. All the way through. projectile immunity on EX Vanity Step. So useful against these air fireballs
Oh,
from Akuma, who is blowing away his DP and super and still going to find themselves alive. The old scramble. Seems like nobody knows how to punish supers quite as well as DPs. Z Fighter Son Goku was able to take advantage of that, but instead Crisp found a hit at a different moment. Just even more projectile immunity on EX Vanity Step was super useful there for them. We saw like 3 different air fireballs each get Vanity stepped through and stabbed. Vanity stab, let's call it that.
yeah, Vanity Stab. And like those air fireballs from Akuma are such strong options. There are some characters that don't really have the tools to get around them, but we can see that Colleen, she's definitely not one of those characters. Really smart play on the side of Crisp, and he's backing away. He likes to play this neutral game. And here we have some Goku throwing the fireballs, trying to maybe get an anti-air.
Yeah, a lot of successful meter building. Z Fighter Son Goku, though, not able to whiff punish the V skill. Red Fireball's a nice safe cancel for them, though, and Crisp, without any EX meter, can't be projectile immunity throughing all of these cancels into Red Fireball. But once they have EX Vanity Step, I'm sure they will. I mean, if we're seeing Crisp go through air fireballs with Vanity, they're probably going to go through grounded fireballs at some point, too. And there it is. Another fireball approach gets completely negated. Crisp creates a scramble situation by crossing over Z Fighter Son Goku, who in general has been trying to play more reactively to Crisp movement, but I always see again an anti opportunity goes to waste. Z Fighter Son Goku has to jump out of the corner, finds it with Tatsu. It's very smart. Very close to a VTC. Well, we see it.
Oh, and despite the fact that Fighter Son Goku has the life lead, we all know that Akuma, well, he's made of paper, and once again, Crisp using that part to get around those air fireballs like we've seen time and time again. But now, Fighter Son Goku has all the candy in the candy store. He's got 3 bars on his side.
Yeah, but not a life lead, and Crisp with 7 seconds on the clock has a pretty substantial life lead. It's going to have to be Chip real quick from Z Fighter Son Goku. Doesn't find it and gets V reversaled. Excuse me, V broken, guaranteeing the life lead. Crisp is putting themselves on set point as a result. Z Fighter Son Goku on the ropes, but not so perturbed as to not be able to whiff punish that heavy Parabellum, one of the worst moves to whiff in the whole game.
Yeah, that's right. And maybe we will see a change of strategy from Fighter Son Goku. Maybe he will stop throwing these air fireballs, but he's getting hit really hard by the Ice Queen herself. Nice forward throw.
Yes, and the fourth, after a beautiful walk away from Crisp's throw attempt into a low medium kick. Such an excellent way to mix your opponent up when you're the one that's supposed to be getting mixed up.
Is it gonna kill?
It certainly will. Colleen with VT2, it's no question. Crisp knew it. I think Z Fighter Son Goku knew it. And so no matter how much Capcom Cup 2016 experience is implied in that title, it looks like Crisp is advancing through this bracket in winner side over Z Fighter Son Goku, who we wish a wonderful losers bracket run to. Maybe we'll see them later. With the power of the Z Fighters backing them, I'm sure they are a difficult opponent to defeat.
Like, to be fair, like, Goku always carried pretty much all the Sea Fighters, like Goku and Vegeta, like,
Yeah, absolutely. I would even go as far as to say that Vegeta got carried by Goku, but that's kind of what the show is about. You just have to accept it. There's no reason to be delusional about it.
Like Dragon Ball Z, more like Goku, something something C. Am I right or am I right?
It's yeah, I think you're right under any circumstance, and I mean nobody would challenge your understanding of Dragon Ball, as I'm sure you are of the highest possible representative taste for the show. And I myself, I'm just a Goku fan. I just watched Abridged. Like, let's be real.
Like I'm a huge Gohan fan.
Ah, there you go. Excellent.
Yeah,
Happy to hear it.
Always like that guy. Like the story should have ended with the Cell arc, but you know, you gotta keep it going, man. You gotta get that Bull arc. You gotta get
Yeah.
that
Okay. Cool.
Super.
So we're all thinking of Gohan with the tears in his eyes, one-handed, Kamehameha. Yeah,
Man,
it's
that
beautiful.
was cool. That was so cool. And speaking
And
of coolness, looks like we're gonna have the man himself, Hollywood Rob TB.
so when you say coolness in reference to Rob TV, it's Hollywood Rob TV. Don't you forget, in the black dress for Karen, Karin, we can call her. And I'm sure matching the black dress, if you could, this Karen would have shades. This is Hollywood era Rob TV. Still, like the rest of us, being made to shoot these matches in the gray training stage. Done this with such a decorative set, but Rob TV doesn't need it to make it look pretty.
Yeah, that's right. And now, speaking of making things look pretty, look at these pretty anti-airs. Oh, but looks like Rob TV dropping the combo, and now Maylene is beginning to believe.
An important side switch from Mylin. Poison, one of the most privileged characters in the game for her ability to side switch in the middle of combos that used VT1 Molotovs. But we're all familiar with this Karen privilege. I don't have to explain it. Spend whatever amount of meter you want on your combo, and it will always be worth it. That is the law of Karen. And so for the 2-bar combo, Rob TV spends some money and cashes out a game 1, round 1 victory.
Oh, and now we can see that Rob TB, he's fishing for this confirms with the crouching medium kick. And just like that, he is in. He's putting the damage on Maylene. Maylene is in the corner. But Rob TB slowing things down. But this is a pretty good spot for Rob. He's got the meter. And he had Maylene in the corner. But just like that, is out on the jumping.
Yeah, that's a big one. And Rob TV just one single touch away from being thrown in the corner after a V-reversal screen freeze. Excellent offensive foresight from Mylin, but they still need to find a way to land a 2-bar hit. That might be enough to kill Karen. Maybe a full jump in or something into a fierce, but it's not coming. So confidently walking forward was Mylin. Rob TV knew damn well that they could afford a little dash into a low just before Mylin would be able to react and low block or walk back. Rob was in there tapping toes.
Yeah, and we just saw like Rob doing 4 forward dashes in a row. It's just like, yeah, you know what? This is a pretty huge distance between the two of us, so I'm just gonna close that with my forward dashes.
Close it. Close the round. And a little bit more patience at the start of this round. Patience, which we can afford to manipulate. Rob TV scored a walk-up throw, and just like that, throw is back on the mind. But we missed a counter hit confirmed there from Rob TV. Rob TV instead found a crouch medium kick and a combo drop. Still scrambling though is Mylin, about to get stunned. A low medium kick meaty secures it, as well as the round for Rob TV, who is looking to end this set with a 2-0 victory and 4 rounds straight. Mylin is desperately searching for a way to slow them down.
Yeah, we saw Maylene earlier really controlling the neutral, but this is not the case. Are we going to see the perfecto on the side of Rob?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh,
And
hold up.
It's just the old meaty stand light kick. One of Karen's favorite buttons. Excellent tool for instantly creating a tick throw situation on block, frame traps on block. I mean, it's 2 mix-ups built into itself. There could be a meaty throw there. There could be a stand light kick there. There could be a throw after the stand light kick that still frame traps you as a +2 button. So rough situation for Mylin. May their losers bracket path be just as rough, but somehow come out with them still able to walk through it. Maybe crawl through it by the end, because it's a long way to go in this Casa. So many skilled players to make your way through. We wish you luck down there, Mylin. Representing that poison on defense. A warlord player who also plays Laura, much like Idom. Poison and Laura. Good combo, right?
Yeah,
Offense, defense, command grab on your base kit, command grab on your VT2 that nobody uses, right?
Wait a minute, there's a B trigger 2?
Yeah, for Poison, her V trigger 2 gives her an actual command grab. It's a 5-framer. It's actually pretty good. Does good damage and stun, and she can also attach a grab type move to cancel into at the end of her heart raids for long range combo conversions off of you can even do it off Crouch Fierce, which is a very long range low. So
Wow.
it's pretty good. I've seen I've seen Flux Waves using some B Trigger 2 with Poison, so we have a chance to see what they're up to. Might even be one of our next winners bracket matches. Fluctuate is playing OG Yawn. Let's take a look at this stream queue. No, it's good on my end. That is Brian F, my friends. Got
Brian.
Rose on the card, but I'm sure we are seeing Balrog from him, as well as all of the people on his stream with whom he is so graciously sharing the Casa tournament bracket action with his insight and self-commentary and rigorous improvement method shared with a YouTube audience of thousands. We appreciate it, Brian. I certainly do. He's going up against AE36 Zero Nooch in the challenge bracket.
And
that player.
The thing about the beat trigger 2, like Poison's beat trigger 2, like you were saying, is that it's actually a pretty good beat trigger, but like the beat trigger 1 just has it's also like super good, and I think that it's a little bit more versatile, and that's the reason why we almost never see the other beat trigger, and that's something that a lot of characters have suffered. Can we call that as something that you suffer, having two good beat triggers?
Yeah, you have to make a choice, right? I mean, it's also a great privilege compared to the poor folks that just suffer with one because they don't like two, or two is not viable. It was the case for a while, but a lot of balance work has been put into equalizing V skills and V triggers across the whole cast. I think Season 6 is reaping the benefits of that. Balrog is a character who has been afforded the most choices and privilege. I've seen every single combination of V skills and V triggers from this dude. Brian F knows them both very well. Let's see which ones he picked. Let's talk about them. It is 1-1, classic Balrog.
The classic Balrog.
Same deal from Jury. Feng Shui Engine, I mean, who could deny themselves that? And couldn't deny myself the temptation to press throw in that situation. Balrog Shimmy so effective against those Rog players that are excellent at confirming the screw upper for max damage and reliability on the buffer.
Oh, and it was a super solid first round for Brian F, trying to go for that jumping to get some pretty fat damage on the side of that Jury. But now Brian F in the corner after getting crush countered. Oh, I think that, another crush counter, but this time on the side of Brian F, but the life deficit, it's not that huge. Brian F could close this with a jumping maybe.
Jury, a character who's grown more capable of mounting comebacks, even without V-Trigger. You can see she's able to maintain momentum just with all of these EX combo enders, safe buffers that lead to great Oki and good damage.
Oh, and Brian F just opting to backdash out of that projectile, and now things are looking pretty difficult for Brian. He's one hit away of dead, and that beat trigger is running out, and the trade is gonna give Zero Nooch this second round.
Now, a trade is only favorable for you against a Balrog dash straight if it kills Balrog. Otherwise, Balrog's advantage is tremendous. You can count on Brian F to be confirming trades off of tools like EX dash straight, maybe even a heavy dash straight like we saw. -4 spacing, Brian F, excellent spacing. Always maximizing his potential offense. Willing to backdash though, just trying to keep Nooch contained, looking for big damage anti-airs. No one wants to get crossed up while they're trying to keep their opponent cornered, so Brian F is patient with their opportunities. And there he finds the -4 punish on the Jury heavy kick, dashes up for a throw after, making Zero Nooch pay for that mistake, just a little overzealous on the heavy kick. You wonder where the V-Trigger activation cancel was, but maybe Zero Nooch was looking to save it for later, trying to swing for a crush counter instead to make sure that they would kill using the V-Trigger later on in the round. But, you know, it's hard to choose between being short-sighted and being like a prophet with how far you're reading into a round, you know?
Yeah, and especially when you have a man that killed an elephant with one punch in front of you, pressuring you in the corner.
Yeah.
Thinking straight, it's gonna be difficult. And now Brian F, with the shimmy, putting once again Nooch in the corner, didn't block that overhead and that stun bar. It's building up. He's one hit away of getting this round with the perfecto.
And Zero Nooch committing to wanting to use V-Trigger, unable to find a cancel or a good buffer, so we see it now. Raw, just willing to do it on block to get some offense started, but Brian F takes a small micro step backwards on defense, avoiding the throw range of Jury, and now basically completely free of the stun threat, setting Nooch free, allowing them to regain some life for the next round. Brian F is keeping the momentum going into what could be the set point.
Oh, okay. And then looks like have a pretty more slowed down game, a pretty more neutral heavy game, but looks like Brian F he just wants to keep pressuring Nuge. Now Nuge goes for the forward throw. Oh, and Brian F he doesn't care. He just wakes up with buttons.
Yeah, the first available opportunity to challenge. That's the kind of play you represent when you're looking to win this set 2-0 with 4 rounds straight. Before the opponent gets any chance to change their play or adapt to their expectations being formed about yours. Minimize the learning. Save it for the YouTube content. That's Brian F's motto. He didn't super. He wouldn't have killed yet. He's still got plenty of super for this combo off of VTC. It's the last hit of the combo, and you know she's a goner. That is the full 10 count. In fact, I think jury might be staying down longer than 10 seconds, and we got to get the referee in here, as well as the ambulance.
Yeah, like...
It typically happens when Brian F wins 2-0. You need an ambulance.
You need an ambulance, and this is not like the meme with the old man, that he goes like, call an ambulance, but not for me. No, this is just the call an ambulance part for me.
Yeah, but the EMTs that we have on standby at Casa, because we know the parties can get pretty crazy, those EMTs put you in good shape and get you back into place and in a healthy state of mind to play in the losers bracket, where the injuries get even worse, and we need a whole ass medical team on standby 24/7. We don't even see most of the play that goes down in losers bracket here. We stream winners because we don't want anybody to see anything too graphic, okay?
Yeah, like we are trying to keep this family friendly.
Yes, right. Casa, it's played in the living room tonight. It's not the thing you got going on in your bedroom against your desk that is facing a corner against the wall so nobody can ever see it. All right. Imagine there's a window in view of your TV. PG Casa.
Yeah, like PG Casa.
Panda Gaming Casa.
And I just want to say that Casa, it's like such a cool name for a tournament. I always like the name of, Casa. It's cool. It's cool. Makes me feel cozy, and I think that's the whole point of naming your tournament Casa.
Yeah, and I'm sure you know well that the fighting game community's roots were nurtured, watered, and placed in soil that you could work with from the basement of your friend's dungeon basement, where your first tournaments were played in your scene's history. I mean, if there weren't house tournaments and house gatherings and people just willing to inconvenience their roommates or immediate family in order to invite fighting game players over, then we'd hardly have a community to this day. So support your local house tournament in the past if you were there. I'm sure you don't regret it. And when it's safe and healthy to do so in the present or future, go ahead and do that too, because without the Casa, or without that specific section of the Casa you're willing to devote to a bunch of fighting game setups and sweat, we wouldn't have a scene.
Yeah, and also shoutouts to all the parents and all what was the word? You just said it, like the roomies. Yeah, shoutouts.
Yeah, that the roommates. Yep.
Like, imagine telling them, like, yeah, we're gonna have some people. It's probably going to be 50 to 20 guys and gals. So we're gonna be playing for like 6 hours straight. So yeah, get ready for that. So it's a pretty tough thing to handle. A lot of people.
To the legal guardians of fighting game community, children and parents who sign the permission slips and allow their children's talent to be developed so exponentially faster than like most people who get into fighting games, kudos to you, and thank you, and congratulations on your children becoming fighting game sponges who become the best players of their generation. I mean, I have to say, I'm only 24, and I'm kind of offended when I lose to a teenager. All right.
Look, I'm 21. I know that feeling. Like, we have a 19-year-old player here in Mexico. His name is Uriel Velorio. You saw him earlier on this month. He's a
Awesome.
Cody Ken main, made it to top
Oh,
4, I think, in the CPT event. And he's a great guy.
yeah, I
Uh,
was watching that CPT event actually.
yeah, he's super good. So speaking of Cody mains, well,
Rolls
I don't know
right
if
off the tongue.
like is Shine, could we consider Shine a Cody main
Shine has
now?
been playing Cody and Zeku in season 5/6. Where are we? What year is it? And it's been interesting to see Shine branch out. Those of you that know about Shine have known that he's played Juri, Ibuki, and in season 1 and 2, Karen. He had a whole triangle of Street Fighter Japanese girls to play as. And suddenly now he's branching out to the buff dudes of seasons 2 and 3, Zeku and Cody. And I think he's really found a rhythm with Cody in particular. And he rocks V Trigger 1 exclusively, denies himself the command grab, the Twitter meme comeback clip potential, and instead amplifies his strongest skill, his footsies, right? Forget playing footsies with your toes and toenails. Bring out the
Oh,
knife, extend your range like nothing else.
yeah, and you just said it, man. Like Shine's footsies and neutral is just so good, and we can see that he's about to take this round with no combos. He doesn't need that knife life, and he just takes this first round against Luca. Like you were saying, he's a fan of the final fight gang.
That's right. And I would say I want to talk about Trent's defense a little bit because it's definitely aggressive. He's the type of player who, even in other fighting games, including like Mortal Kombat, for example, he'll represent the wake up aggressive functions. Like I wanted to say, he brings out that 3-frame fierce priority wake up pocket sand from Cody. Bad spray is really difficult to deal with, and like you see, he combos into stand heavy punch after for his most damaging combo. Luka Doncic paralyzed, trapped by just Cody's long range, cancelable normals, able to dash in though after one still moment from Shine.
And now this could be the shift of momentum that Lucadon was looking for, but the knife life is in place. Back throw for Shine, throwing one knife, throwing one tornado, and now he's putting on the pressure, using that knife against Luca. What are you gonna do when he's coming for you with this knife? Super solid play from Shine.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say solid play when he cheats in the street fight and brings out a knife. I mean, that's normally something you only resort to when you're really short on funds or whatever else you need in your life to keep your system going. But, Cody, he's not the mayor yet in this outfit. He is representing
The
freshly
sticks.
broken out of prison's Cody here, and so it's no wonder that he's pulling out that V Trigger 1 contraband illegal item. It's completely legal to walk around the pipe with the pipe like V Trigger 2, Cody, but Shine is breaking the law with V Trigger 1 and breaking social convention as well, representing the lesser played trigger.
Oh, that's right. Like, I'm a Cody main. I barely know how to play the knife. And Shine has been one of the main reasons why I've been trying to learn more about the knife life that the Major represents, or well, that the Ruffian represents. In this case, nice punish, waking up with the pocket sand, like some people call it, but he couldn't get that standing heavy punch because it didn't hit on counter here.
Yes, often you assume counter hit, but it was actually Luka Doncic completely whiffing the meaty timing. Shine chose the back rise, which is more likely to make quick rise meaty as whiff. So, because back rise occurs afterwards, target combo could have been punished. Nothing there, and nothing in the way of confirmation of the crush counter. But Luka Doncic finds a perfectly timed jump in, saves the super, looking for a V trigger activation maybe. Instead, gonna get knifed. I'm not gonna lie. I think Rashid's super might have been good call there. It was only 2 hits of scaling. I don't know if it would have killed. Depends upon if Cody has 1025 or not. But Luka Doncic enters this round with full meter regardless. Fighting against Shine with 2 bars though, and just about cornered already. It's a hard hill to climb back up.
Yeah, that's right. And now, once again, Shine showing us the power of his neutral game. Look at he only needs one good opening, and he can bring the damage on the Mayor. But Shine, he's just keeping this super solid neutral game against Lucadon.
Luka Doncic still with 3 bars. Rashid in the past was so easily able to cancel into EX Mixer to create offense. Old school throw bait straight into heavy whirlwind. And here's stun mounting now. Luka Doncic only able to find a trade anti-air, but is able to keep the stun up against Shine. Shine now finds a way to mash out. Old 4-frame into target combo. Shine with a VTC activation at the ready, probably ready to seal this set in his favor with 2-0 victory. 4 rounds straight against Luka. It'll be pretty impressive. Zonk Knuckle. Didn't even need a trigger activation. That is full charge EX Zonk level 2. And Shine demonstrating the optimal confirmation. One that leaves a tear in my eye. I'm like, oh my god. A lesser Cody would have canceled into V trigger off of the first hit of EX Zonk because they're not trying to be able to like confirm the hit regardless and get a decent combo on hit and be plus on block. Shine wanted to kill right then and there with that, knowing the amount of damage that could be done if they didn't activate V trigger first. Excellent intentionality there from Shine demonstrated.
Yeah, and you were saying that lesser Cody mains would have activated B trigger to get the kill. Let me tell you that I would have activated B trigger to get the kill. So, yeah, really, really impressive stuff from Shine. And I have to say that we have probably seen back to back 3 of my favorite players.
Oh, here's
at the
another
moment.
one. Crouch
Oh,
Fierce with the
oh.
Zeku. This dude is destructive. I think he's playing Zeku today, but he could also be playing Urian. And well, I like this dude because as a commentator, you know, we're always trying to teach the game to people or teach a way to articulate an understanding of the game and the decisions the players are making and where they're communicating, where they're screaming over each other. And Crouch Fierce is the player who plays both of one of my disciples' characters, Zeku and Urian. So anytime I need to show my friend a replay or some like nice North American Zeku or Urian footage, Crouch Fierce is there, and I probably commentated one of his matches because he's a regular on the Casa as well. Welcome.
He's a regular guest. Like, I was trying to think of a Mexican way of saying it, but I think that we actually don't have a way to referring to usual guests here in Mexico, like people that visit your casa a lot. So that's weird. We Mexicans, we have a word for everything. So I'm actually surprised that we don't have a word for that. There probably is somewhere.
There probably is.
Yeah, like Mexican Spanish. It's a beast of its own. It's a pretty big country, so there's a lot of variations.
Yeah, definitely. I feel that. I'm willing to see or hear what you are able to come up with when you have a little bit more time to pick your own mind about the language. Maybe do some Google searching, bring out the old Google Translate. I don't know,
Yeah.
something like that. Because I just love language, linguistics, the art of expression. Many people trying to justify to their non-gamer friends why they play fighting games will tell you that fighting games are an act of expression, whether artistic or social or communicative. Some musicians say that executing combos or doing the difficult rhythmic tasks that fighting games often ask of you to be a great player feels musical to them and flexes the same creative muscles as those guitarists that are so poignantly poking strings and pinching chords and all that they do.
Like,
I'm a kalimba player myself. I have to be very careful where I place my thumbs.
and now that you mention it, we saw a couple of months ago Desk doing a music video using the
Yes.
Danfinite, and it was such a cool video. Like, it was a banger. Let me tell you that I really like that song. Yeah, man, like I'm just so surprised from like the amount of talent that we have in the FGC. I think that is one of the bigger aspects of the FGC that not a lot of other communities have. Like you were saying, we have some really good artists like Desk, some people that create fan art of the characters, some people that play at the highest level. And I saw some Twitter Discord about people saying like, "Oh, if you don't compete at fighting games, then you're not a part of the FGC." And I think that
Oh,
that couldn't be further from the
gross.
truth. Yeah,
Get it out of
like
here.
get it out of here. That's right. It doesn't matter if you play or not. If you like fighting games and you like talking about fighting games, you are a part of the FGC.
Yeah, like looking at them, whether or not there is even like competitive circumstances associated. I mean, it is my hope that what we do in the competitive circle can be interesting enough for anybody to watch it and enjoy it. But I can also understand why somebody would just rather engage with the scene by making character portraits, reading the Udon comics, looking at those sweet swimsuit illustrations, contacting people on Discord to get those high resolution NVIDIA graphics engine Tekken 7 character model screenshots. I mean, whatever it is you do to interact with the scene at large, I'm going to say I welcome it because it puts people on the path to maybe enjoying the competitive scene. And if not, I mean, it gives competitive players some pretty cool art to look at, music to listen to. I mean, how many songs have you listened to from majorly produced artists where you hear "Perfect" from Street Fighter 2 in the background?
Yeah. Or some
Sonic
reference
Boom.
to a Street Fighter character or to any character that's from a fighting game. And you mentioned the Udon comics from Street Fighter. I consider myself a cursed man, cursed with the knowledge of having a lot of knowledge from the Street Fighter lore.
Oh, yes.
Nobody's going to ask me about Street Fighter lore ever. So that's why I consider it a curse. I know so much about it, and I kind of hate myself for it, but at the same time, I don't, because I'm that type of player that sometimes picks a character because I like their story or something like that.
Hey, did you know fighting game player John Takeuchi, the young protagonist of Japan, the hope for the Zoomer generation of East Asian fighting game players, picked up Street Fighter V competitively as Rashid because he liked Rashid's presence in the story mode that was released halfway through Season 1, which has not had any more content. And that is how John Takeuchi would become the young boy that won First Attack in Puerto Rico, the protagonist of basically any match he plays because he looks like David fighting Goliath under any circumstances across the cabs. Like, you can't help but cheer for him. And oh my God, do you remember that old match of him versus Tokido where John Takeuchi has this massive water bottle that he drinks out of with two hands?
Oh yeah, like who could remember that massive water bottle that was probably bigger than his head? Like
Yeah, he's just chugging it like.
yeah, like he was feeling the heat that day. Let me tell you that.
Yeah, and it just made him seem like so small compared to Tokido. And I mean, when you're fighting a legend, it does feel that way. Like you could be 5'1" but be Tokido, and people will look at you like you're 8 feet tall, like you're Abigail. And height is not a relevant factor in this matchup because the whip is taller than both of these women combined. I think anyway. Looks like that crouch heavy punch range is about 11 feet.
Oof, and up with the confirms. He's about to stun, and this might not be a perfect, but if he doesn't get hit once before the round ends, we could call this an honorary perfect.
You know, like I said, it's an 11-foot whip from Poison, but it only takes 2 feet from Karen, each with a sharp, high-heeled red boot attached to them, allows for that overhead to do extra damage, and makes those low-medium kicks hurt tremendously every time Rob TV confirms one of them off that low. And look at him, blending in with the red line of the training stage, cornering flux waves. This is just par for the course for Rob TV, who has already fought through my Lynn's Poison on the way here.
Yeah, that's right, and now he's gonna fight another super strong Poison, but this time it's Flux. Nice interruption from Flux, and this could be a huge momentum shift.
Yeah, it certainly is. Just because Flux is now putting Rob TV into the corner, Rob TV makes the informed decision, instantly exits with a V reversal, and pursues a little bit of Okazeme after the reversal by finding a low medium kick, counter hit confirm, spending 2 bars to make it kill. Look, whether Korean built super by not spending the X bar or just spent 2 bars for the combo, she was going to kill regardless. That decision is not something you have to worry about with Karen. The damage is there for you. And
Yeah,
I mean, but for you, I mean for Rob TV or for Flux Waves, to their detriment as we enter game 2. Flux Waves trying to make a comeback as Rob TV once again demonstrates some speedrun tactics for this matchup against Poison.
Oh, nice speed shift to keep Flux into the corner. And the shimmy from Rob. He was trying to go for the reset. And now he's just pressing buttons, making sure that Flux blocks all of these attacks. And is it going to kill? Probably. Yes.
Content to make Flux Waves block was Rob, achieving strike throw mix-ups most of the way, but Rob did not intend for Flux Waves to block that overhead, which secured stun, gave Rob an excellent performance. The speedrun continues, though Flux Waves finds an excellent anti-air with heavy heart rate. Awesome tool for the Oki and damage, but once again, Rob TV instantly with the V-reversal, able to black out. -2 on that EX situation. Rob TV finds a beautiful 3-frame check and secures 1 more stun. We're going to see a reset here. It's not quite going to kill it yet.
Oh, but it's going to put a Flux in pretty much guess for game. And yep, with the back throw, taking this last round. Rob TV, super solid play. But I think that we have been saying his name wrong all this time, man.
Hollywood Rob TV?
Yeah, Hollywood Rob TV, that's right. That's right.
Look, he wasn't dressed in black that time like Hollywood Hulk Hogan, for which I'm also named. But he looked similarly untouchable and definitely like the villain in that set. And we didn't get to see any kind of like karmic WWE style turnaround or redemption for our fallen hero. Poison, 2 poisons. Elite Poison players down in losers bracket real early thanks to the magnificent work of Rob TV. Not sure what's going to happen to them as they maybe face each other, but as we have young Arturo Sanchez, who has somehow accumulated the wisdom of Dalton himself over the many years of playing this character and gotten younger in his ability to execute Dalton combos and tech, his opponents, whatever it may be. He has a chance to play destructive. I remember this was the match we almost saw earlier. We did see it last week as well in top 8 of Casa, and Arturo Sanchez won that in winners finals with a 3-0. Look, Crouch Fierce. I'm not going to lie. I'm not sure I saw Crouch Fierce in that set unless it was Arturo's. And it was a +3 on block potential rushdown tool for Dalton. Whether it was zoning or rushdown, Arturo was just all over Crouch Fierce. I wonder if we're going to see Urian or Zeku going into this one. Urian's typically been a bad matchup for Dalton, but it was Zeku from Crouch Fierce last time. So I'm excited to see it either way. It's a run back. It's one that you hope has a different story the second time you see it, but if it doesn't, well, that's even more fuel for the next time they meet, because we run these every week, baby. This is Casa. And these two make top 8 very frequently. So Arturo's won this a couple times as well. Don't you doubt it.
Yeah, that's right. We have some regulars here, and maybe Crouch Fierce will go with the Urian. You know, maybe didn't quite feel as good last week, and now he decides to go for the Urian. And we are about to find out. And nope, I got mixed.
Okay, yeah, you got mixed. It's trigger 2, skill 2, Zeku. As you know, Zeku V trigger 2, more of a difficult trigger to activate. You typically only get to activate on combos on hit or for anti-air situations. It is instantly frame 1 invincible to air attacks. Air attacks like Dhalsim's Drill, Dhalsim's Gale, could even be Dhalsim's instant air overhead that you just decide to negate with V trigger 2. Instant air teleport's another thing that comes to mind. It's a great tool to have in the matchup, so of course Crouch Fierce represents it. He's halfway to building that bar just from all the we're seeing a lot of animals get called out from old and young man. But Arturo just willing to float over all the threats and winning the gray life and red life battle. But geez, even a DP against Dhalsim looks like it does so much damage. Back throw from
Yeah.
Young Man. That is 160, baby. That might as well be a command grab. And
Oof.
Crush Fierce finds another one, completely content cornering himself in order to land the back throw. And it's a counter hit 3-frame. This is Yun Zeku. This Young Man will kill you off of his mash jab. Nobody excels more at lights and mediums on counter hit than Young Man. Nobody lacks at it more than Old Man. I wonder how much time we're going to see Crouch Fierce rock the Old Man. Nope. Age cancel right away.
Yeah, that's
3-frame
right.
mash confirmed. No counter hit. Still found it.
Oof, and the B reversal, spending some of that B trigger bar to try and stop Art's pressure. Oh, really nice air-to-air on the side of Art. Oh, he's trying
Gimmick flip. Perfectly content to escape the corner on the trade, even with the life deficit. Crouch Fierce does have to get something going, though. And walking forward, as intimidating as it is from the Young Man, it's not enough to get the comeback started. Heavy kick, though, could have been a great start. Be on the lookout for that as a counter hit starter. Oh, but Arturo already on the lookout for EX run cancel off of Young Man normals. Counter hit it the first time that it came out in order to tie up the round score. Both players now on the chance to take the lead. This is already more of a performance than we got to see from Crouch Fierce last week. I welcome it. I'm so excited for this Young Man.
And you're sounding like a grandpa or something. Like, I'm excited to see what this young man can do, and what he can do. It's put the damage on these, these. I'm stumbling on my own words.
It's hard to keep up with, I understand. It is the old Young Man speedrun, middle-aged man. Both characters were represented in a beautiful one-sided round from Crouch Fierce, who is turning this narrative around from last week's performance, and with a 1st-to-2 set instead of 1st-to-3. The stakes are already very high for Arturo, who, if he doesn't make winner's top 8 at this point, is considered upset. Like, let's be real. This man has ascended into godhood for the past few weeks now, months maybe, ever since he started playing that Papa Smurf Dulcim. He's just been killing everybody.
Yeah, that's right. And now let's see if Crouch Fierce can replicate the success of that last round. But looks like Art is just making sure to keep Crouch Fierce on the corner. Back throw, and like you were saying, that could be considered a command grab because of how much damage that back throw does when Seku is feeling young. But now Crouch Fierce has Art in the corner, but the activation for Art is going to give him this first round.
A desperate situation for Crouch Fierce. Once again, no V-trigger presence whatsoever. We saw a V-reversal attempt, and then Crouch Fierce lost the chance to activate earlier. Never able to do so yet, but still, it's them with the game lead, so trigger doesn't need to be a factor. And as Young Man Oki, look, only Dulcim can shimmy you on your own meaty throw attempt or your frame trap throw attempt.
Oof.
An amazing anti-air Gale choice from Arturo, always reading the throws in advance. That is actually how Arturo won their previous set with a 3-0 victory. One time Crouch Fierce got a chance to throw, Arturo just galed it in the air.
And now we can see once again the young man on the side of Crouch Fierce. They are pretty even when it comes to life, but the beat trigger activation, this is going to be huge damage for Crouch Fierce. He's one back throw away from taking this second round against Art, but the activation once again from Art.
Look at that gray life. It's actually devastating. Crouch Fierce running out of space to walk back, and Young Man can walk back faster than Old Man. Ah, it's a low! The Old Man still trying to walk back. Not even Young Man's walk speed would have been enough to get away from that one. Such a reliable way for Dulcim to close out rounds. Arturo chooses it, and it was a no-brainer for him. And, you know, the less... Like, every time you win a set with a particularly memorable option, like how painful that low must have been for Crouch Fierce, you have to keep it in mind for this conditioning of, like, specifically the tools you choose to win sets with in tight situations. Maybe next time overhead or throw will be more of a threat now that Crouch Fierce has been told so loudly to block low in those types of situations.
Ooh, are we gonna see the perfect on the side of Crouch Fierce? No, nice reversal from Art.
Yeah, excellent reversal. Meaty Gale comes afterwards. Instant DP though on the first drill in the round we see. So Crouch Fierce working hard to not get fully cornered by Arturo. Now, with such confidence, able to slide to the other side. Arturo could have maybe found a punish, but kept it conservative. Dulcim players tend to do so.
Oh, and now Art could still take this round if he spends his resources correctly.
Yeah.
Nice forward throw.
by comparison, Crouch Fierce just looking impatient, trying to jump forward, not even a counter hit on the medium kick. Was dashing in earlier and got fully counter hit punished by Arturo's Crouch Fierce himself. Crouch Fierce, he dies low once again. It is so memorable. It's something that you can't afford to forget anymore because Arturo is on set point, completely taking the momentum back from the game one.
Yeah,
but here's the
right.
young man with no meter, unable to do EX run stop, not quite as threatening. He can confirm on hit and create mix-up situations on block off of it. Arturo has checked it so far, but maybe that makes the overhead more threatening too.
Oh, and now the forward throw on the side of Art, trying to keep Crouch Fierce in the corner, but Art just opting to gain some screen positioning. He wants to make Crouch Fierce lose his patience, goes for the forward throw with the young man. Oh, but Art with these buttons, he's one hit away from taking this last round. And sorry for my dogs, I have five dogs, so if you see me go mute, that's because those dogs, they sure know how to bark, so sorry for that.
Hey, look, it just sounds like a fighting game tournament every time I hear them barking, especially with one of the local boys up on the stage and his posse cheering for him so loudly. Gendered because, is typically not something I've seen out of the fighting game community women, but I've definitely seen some barking from some rowdy dudes. Like, let me tell you. But we can work to change that. I absolutely welcome that world as well, and I welcome a suggestion when I lose to somebody in a fighting game. I like to talk to them, and let's say Arturo and I were talking to Crouch Fierce. What I might say is, hey man, consider picking V Trigger 1 because that gives Yunman such a reliable activation off of his sweep and reliable confirms into like devastating mix-up situations. And we only saw one successful V Trigger 2 activation in that set because you can only afford to activate on hits, on guaranteed hits with that V Trigger 2 from Zeku, where V Trigger 1 will create the opportunities in itself, both on activation and with the invincible, very fast recovery dash option into the Rekka target combo thing that VT1 affords him. It's also a very good V-Trigger for having super instead of using EX meter in your combos because V-Trigger 2's extension always requires Zeku to spend 1 bar, where you build a ton of meter with VT1 during this Rekka series, and then you can get super by the end. Anyway, that's a bunch of Zeku information. Street Fighter 4 and 5 Blonde Boy Classic happening before our eyes. It's Shine against Diego, and it's Shine showing us a nice medium counter hit punish for that Diego V DP. That sounds like his tag, but it's Diego v PC instead of DP. But no doubt DPs will be represented here by Diego. He is like one of the most stylish, fiery, flaring Kens. Everything that you would associate negatively with a Ken online warrior, it's there, but it's complemented by the strongest fireball game and like knowledge of footsies. Long Island clearly just loves Shotos. You can tell by the way Diego V plays. Loves and has excellent command over.
Yeah, now we can see that Shine is struggling in this neutral game. He's just opting to block all of this barrage of fireballs on the side of Diego. But now the activation for Diego V. He wants to keep Shine in this corner, but Shine just walking forward. No activation on the side of Shine. That is so weird. But goes for target combo, and you think you are plus? Don't make me laugh. That's what Diego just told Shine.
And he said so resoundingly loud as Ken screams Shoryuken. I mean, I feel like when Ken's on the camera, his voice actor is just so much louder than the other characters. Anyway, this zoning game with the knife, pretty well complimented, but Diego V showed patience. Was showing patience until the very last moment. A little bit overzealous and aggressive with how Diego saw the spacing in that fireball situation. Shine with the foresight to just fall with a heavy kick and catch Ken running forward with B-skill. In a further range situation, and if Diego V did slightly later timing, I do think that step kick could have been a guaranteed anti-air choice. And meaty throw from Diego, not falling victim to that wake up bad sand. Excuse me, pocket sand. Bad spray, that's it.
And hey, whatever works, man. Pocket sand, bad spray, it's all the same thing. So yeah, now we can see that Shine trying to get in, but Diego be just keeping on the pressure on the back door. It's not going to be enough to kill, and Shine is one hit away from dead. He's just opting to block, and good thing that you can't get shipped with special moves in Street Fighter 5, or well, Shine would have lost that round earlier.
Certainly. And I mean, did you see the alternation of fireball speed from Diego between light and heavy actually created a difficult enough puzzle for Shine at mid-screen? Diego doesn't even depend upon the opponent being cornered for the fireball trap to be effective. He'll just manipulate the speed of the fireball so naturally and find such consistent anti-air medium DPs. It saves him a lot of meter and builds him meter too. V-meter, though, it seems like a cheap resource. A lot of unsuccessful V-shifts getting destroyed. V-break, perfectly successful now for Diego, who's running out of life and running out of chances to activate trigger now. Gonna have to maybe get lucky with a crush counter and take some more damage.
That's right, on Shine. He could activate beat trigger, but Diego, he doesn't want to activate beat trigger. He just wants to keep Shine away. He wants to keep Shine planted on this corner. Shine trying to get out, but once again, the B reversal from Diego stopping Shine on his tracks. But Shine could still activate beat trigger. Maybe that knife could be a pretty useful tool to get around this super strong fireball game from Diego, but you don't need the knife live when you have this confirms.
Yeah, it looks like it's been, as Cody has played most of these rounds in chains, V-triggerless, using the defensive V system options instead, Shine's been healthy, fine, perfectly contained and composed on defense. Diego can rattle people. He has an incredibly effective throw bait game. In a defensive situation from like a neutral situation, we did see Diego successfully bait one of Shine's preemptive throw techs with a walk back low medium kick. That could get even more threatening if Diego starts landing those stand fierce shimmies as well. And that's something that is very threatening in the corner, where Shine would have found himself if it weren't for a successful buffer into Light Ruffian. And now Shine's winning the corner game tug of war. Diego is almost stunned, but we return to mid-screen.
When Shine was trying to activate off of that target combo, but Diego noticing and going for the B reversal, and these neutral jump heavy kicks on the side of Shine have been such a good tool. And look at Shine just keeping the pressure with the knife live, taking this first round.
He cut the chains. They are gone now. He is unbound and free. Free, by the way, to be doing things so advanced as to damn, I forgot what I was going to say. Whatever.
Be still like sway.
Oh yeah. So a lesser Cody player and a lesser Street Fighter player in general would see the V reversal startup during the V trigger screen freeze and go for a throw, knowing that you can guarantee throw against V reversal. But Shine, the informed knowledge and research player, used Cody's V skill 2 crime sway to dodge the V reversal and get a much bigger punish than just a throw, ending with Light Ruffian and Great Oki.
Yeah, that's right. And now Shine, he's about to take the second round. Once again, Diego with the B reversals, trying to keep Shine away, trying to get that jumping backdoor to put Shine into the corner. Now successful jumping on the side of Diego. Shine didn't take that. Oh, it's not going to be enough to kill, but Shine!
You know, Wake Up 4 frame worked out well for Shine, who just expected maybe another dash or some kind of fake pressure from Diego, but I don't think Diego meant to get counter hit. It was just a slight walk forward, right? Usually you walk forward if you're looking for some kind of meaty option. So I think Diego might have misexecuted there, and Shine chose an excellent option to take advantage of any possible execution mistake. Denied the meaty, denied a third game, and advanced themselves even deeper into the winner's bracket of the Casa, giving Diego a nice long bracket run worth his time and money down in losers. Down there's players like Yawn, Crouch Fierce, Metro M, and Flux Waves. Jick D as well. I mean, this is Shocks, the Alex player that has won this bracket and placed in other regional tournaments, is also in losers. Carlton Banks. I mean, it's a fray down there. I wish luck to whoever makes it out of the free for all to enter losers finals once we finally get there. But until then, we have a couple more matches to round out our top 8.
And like you were saying, like we have a lot of killers down in the losers bracket. That is the thing that is another thing that I like about doing commentary that we just get to sit in the comfortable in our comfortable chairs, looking at all the carnage that's about to be unleashed on the losers bracket. So just wish luck to everyone else down there, and yep,
Mm,
we just get to see the carnage on the front
yeah,
row
yeah.
seat.
And in the case of Diego V, we get a very intimate portrayal of the carnage because we may see their entire Casa bracket life from its from both of its defeats to its death. Because already in losers, right after we saw Diego fall to Shine's Cody, Diego now has to fight Yon's Laura, OG Yon, the original, the Laura player who also has a Vega and kind of in the Kali. Maybe a Rashid too. I've heard of them. No doubt representing Laura in this matchup, and no doubt excited to play against Diego because this is a Long Island versus Maryland Classic. DMV versus LI. I'm pretty sure we ran this as a 3v3 at the Casa Block Party last summer. So both these characters, fire and electricity among them. I think they fought in the story mode. It's going to be electrifying, and it's definitely invigorating. An offensive slobber knocker that no doubt Diego will be trying to slow down the pace in a little bit more than Yawn. I think so anyway. But I'm excited to see what Diego brings to the table. Whether it is like a pot roast, just a bunch of candy, like I'm sure Ken Masters buys to fuel his run. G Fuel, perhaps. I mean, I don't know. Monster Energy, Laura Booty Sweat, whatever it is you're drinking to motivate yourself to perform well. Get it in your system now because round one has already started.
Yeah, we can see that Diego with a slight life lead against Laura Booty Sweat. But, maybe that was a misinput on the side of Laura Booty Sweat with that command grab.
Yeah, Yon finds a sweep though and is able to almost find their way out of the corner. A simple leg kick whip punish though, not the most damage canceling into Tatsu, but Diego doesn't need damage. They're prioritizing positioning. That heavy kick was pretty unsafe. Laura does have a great 4-frame punish option, but Yon is more concerned with the V-trigger activation, and you can see why, because you can combo into super now with this Laura V-trigger cancel. I remember when she couldn't even do that cancel off light elbow into super. All the Laura players appreciate it. They finally had to learn how to use this super input. Not often you don't see Laura just thunderclapping with EX. Interesting.
The amount of damage that Yon got from Diego after he whiffed that EXDP was just so much, like you were saying, using that critical art. But now Diego has Yon in the corner, but just like that, he gained some much needed screen positioning. And now Diego just pressing this light kick, this standing light kick, and goes for the Tatsu.
Raw Tatsu.
The raw Tatsu, that's right. And now
Yes.
Yon in the corner. Oh,
And it's forward heavy punch from Laura. You could see a link into stand short there from her, but again, Yon's playing for keeps, not looking for little light confirms, always looking for big swings, and a big swing could happen once again as Laura approaches having full super meter for the second time, could maybe find a confirmation. Crouch medium kick, elbow, super would certainly kill for her. V-trigger activation to boot will force the mix-up situation. That is why Diego V is V-reversaling as soon as possible.
Oh, and now he opts to use that B-shift into the B-break. And look at the amount of gray life on the side of John, just like that. Lost in an instant. And Diego, he didn't got really punished with that EXDP. He got a little lucky there. And I can see why he was trying to go for those DPs. He was trying to use the invulnerability to get through the projectile, but didn't quite work in his like he was intending.
Yeah, it's all on the assumption that Laura will actually be moving forward and not blocking the past the thunderclap on the other side. And if you do hit her, they do go away. So it is a great bet if you can make contact with her on hit, but not on block. And Yon learned after the first DP through attempt that they could just very safely block against Diego's DPs on the other side and destroy that whole situation in advance. Although I appreciate every single DP user trying to experiment with how they can use it to get through different offensive options, whether projectile-based or far away or in your face.
Yeah, now we can see that Diego is trying to close these this held the gap between him and Yan, and he's already done it. But the activation for Yan, nice B shift, trying to get out of that lot of pressure, and the EXDP to tell Yan, stop right there. I don't
Yes.
want to get pressured by you.
There's another one, twice in a row. It's now said loud and proud, resoundingly. 3 bars of EX meter. Each of them was the most important tool through the course of that round. Both EXDPs scoring Diego damage and denying Yon the opportunities. And now Diego has to build a lot of meter, but you can afford to do so as you have a round 1 victory. Can play round 2. Doing all this meterless rushdown right almost has Yon stunned already. But Yon exits the corner with a smooth anti-air. Diego finds a crossover though, going all the way over. Another Yon anti-air to the other side there, scrambling for the corner. That's Diego trying to cross up jump once again. Yon gets hit in the air just to prevent it, but now Yon's life is just too low.
And now we're back in the neutral, and the high level nothing, the high level nada on the side of Yon. But now he's one throw away, one hit away, Diego, from getting this second round, putting a game on his side. He's just controlling the neutral really, really well. Oh, and stop right there, says Diego B to Yon with that standing light kick.
Yeah, that stand short is an excellent tool to be checking advancing cancels from Laura. No matter what, it will land as a counter hit, and on counter hit, you can link it into itself for solid confirmations. And earlier, when Diego did EXDP against Laura's stand fierce canceled into V-skill dash, it landed as a counter hit as well. And I think that's what told Diego that they could just mash out of these command dash cancels rather than doing DP and risking everything. Never mind. See, DP is scary. I was going to say mashing's a little bit more favorable. And Yon made the most out of baiting the DP on its first instance. Too far for a real whiff punish. Diego maybe needed to spend meter. Too far for a throw tech as well. Yon secures a stun and so instantaneously advances to set point. Just as soon as we were saying Diego had taken the momentum back, Yon struck even harder. The fastest round yet.
Yeah, the fastest round, and Diego starting this second round with a pretty good confirm off of that standing short. And he just goes for another EXP.
No!
He was anticipating something from Yon. And now he's at a disadvantage. Once again, this confirms on the side of Diego. But now he's in the corner. Forward throw for Yon. Nice B reversal for Diego.
Looks like that was plus on counter hit after the command dash, but low medium kick, activate into Oki off of throw. It's a real 50-50. Yon knows it well. That's why throw tech comes out, and a defensive back throw. Diego V probably just dashed up, maybe waited, maybe in fear of Laura wake up super, I'm not so sure. But any hesitation was more than enough time for Laura's throw tech to secure her a 2-1 victory over Diego, eliminating Diego from our Casa bracket tonight.
Yeah, and I was beginning to believe alongside Diego that he could make the comeback, but yeah, and he was just ready with that, like you mentioned, with that defensive back throw. And yeah, maybe he probably caught Diego walking forward. Maybe he missed time something, but well, he's being eliminated from this tournament.
Yeah, it's a pretty frequent performance between both of them. I've seen them play a couple times. I think it's just about as even as we saw in that match, which was delightfully close. We've had a lot in the way of 2-0 victories and 4 rounds straight tonight. Thank you, players, for helping us run this stream and tournament bracket quite efficiently. But sometimes our match queue just isn't keeping up with the pace that you're setting. Our defensive mechanic enters the fold with V-Shift, and yet our rounds keep going faster and faster. Are some people just so good at figuring this game out that they are like miles ahead and winning consistently? Yeah, that seems to be the case. At least for our first few matches. They're getting closer now, though.
Yeah, we saw a lot of 2-0 games up to this point. We're getting to that part of the bracket where maybe we will begin to see the 2-1 games, and in the top 8 it's more than possible that we will get to see maybe even the always appreciated game 5, and now we're gonna have Crisp against Metro M.
Yes. So Crisp, we remember the Colleen player from earlier, who
Mhm.
I think we solidly identified as the clean player. Was especially proficient on defense. Very low commitment, low risk, medium reward type of player. Well suited to the tool set of Colleen, who on excellent normals with big hitboxes and small hurt boxes, even more so with her V Trigger 2 activated, will be able to score huge damage on whiff punishes and counter hits and be able to set up offense that works incredibly safely against both of the wake up timings, quick rise and back rise, while allowing her to bait reversals. None of that's relevant right now, though, because it is Cammy, Crisp's main character, up against the Vega for Metro M. We all know Metro M as the Vega player, premier Vega player of DMV area / North America, right? Somebody who's had some time in the spotlight, but doesn't mind returning to good old Casa for a lovely time. Back to the training stage of solitary confinement. Let's see what he can do against Crisp. A classic lore matchup, if I may say so myself.
That's right. These two characters share a lot of history together. And what they don't really share, it's the tier list position,
Never
especially
have.
this season.
Yeah, certainly not. Although Vega's been on a solid climb up in respectability, regardless of tier position, of respectability across maybe the past 2 seasons. V-Skill 2 made a big difference, giving Vega that invincible option to move backwards. So abusable if Vega has space behind him, but it's difficult to not corner yourself sometimes with the character, given how powerful walking back into your pokes is, and how often you might be using that V-Skill 2 or either of his 2 V reversals. Look at that anti-air super. Super that doesn't function as an invincible reversal, but excellently functions as an anti-air or a cross-up sometimes. Don't ask me about that, though.
Yeah, now we can see that Metro has a pretty good life lead, but all you need, it's a good confirm with those standing heavy punch on the side of Cammy. And look at all the damage that Chris put on Metro. And now Metro, he wants to maybe find a way to activate his beat trigger. And
There it
just
goes.
like that, the beat trigger is over for Chris.
Huge victory for Metro, especially not contending with any V reversals from Cammy. There won't be any sudden side switches, which is one of Cammy's most unique abilities. Her V reversal can switch sides, instantly reversal of fortune there. But side's not going to be so relevant because Metro just needs any hit into V Trigger 1 and it can surely kill. Don't forget Vega can anti-air or use his V Trigger 1 in the air to maybe counter hit anti-air attempts. But also, the clock is on his side too. A slight life lead for Metro. Gotta be careful, Metro. Oh, there it is. Light check. Both characters dash forward at the same time, I believe, and that always creates a point-blank situation instantaneously.
Yeah, maybe Chris noticed that the time was running out, so he maybe was trying to make something happen for him, but he blocked with his face this claw from Vega. Look, if Cody can bring a knife into a street fight, why can't Vega bring a claw into a street fight?
Look, it's Street Fighter is the name of the franchise, but you see that this match is being played in a cell. All right, this is some messed up Shadaloo shit going on down here. As messed up as that dive kick from Crisp, Metro actually found a full 3-frame punish against it. That was one of the highest hitting dive kicks I've ever seen.
Ooh, and now here comes the pain on the side of Crisp. He still has some beat trigger to use. Nice confirm with that standing heavy punch, putting on the pressure, putting on the damage, putting on the pain on the side of Metro M, taking this first round crisp. That was crisp.
Yeah, it all started with a stand heavy punch buffer. I would say the crispiest, most like charcoal flavored button in the game. There it is once again, counter hitting a Vega poke in its startup. It is a 6-frame Fierce from Cammy, very high priority as a Fierce button, the only one of its class in the 6-frame category. Cammy yields the same privilege on her back medium punch, also one of the most functional normal anti-airs. Keep an eye out for both of those things in the event that Metro M does one day choose to jump, but it's been mostly Crisp taking to the air, especially when V-Trigger dive kick is available to them. Take a look. When will it come out? Place your bet. 63 seconds on the clock, we'll see a dive. Never mind. This combo's going to go on too long. Ha 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 ha.
And Metro M just opting to spend that meter to get some damage on the side of Crisp, but Crisp has critical art. He's probably one buffer away from getting this second game. Oh, the shimmy!
Yeah, found it on stand heavy punch. Excellent to be able to recognize when a shimmy can kill, regardless of your ability to confirm it. And the choice of stand fierce as a more confirmable button than Cammy's low medium kick is also smart. So I like that play from Crisp. I would keep in mind though, now this is pretty nitpicky, but off that EX dive kick, if Cammy converts into knee bullet and then EX dive kick, I think that combo might have killed. Don't forget about good old knee bullet, that weird juggle buff on Cammy's heavy back heavy kick. Excuse me, forward heavy kick.
And Crisp,
Oh.
he just, you know, pressing that heavy button on the side of Cammy, but after a mistake over there, he's losing a lot of life and really nice neutral jump on the side of Metro, and he wants to use this really long reaching clutch to keep Cammy in the corner. Goes for another neutral jump. Maybe he was anticipating something from Crisp, but now he has the live lead, so he doesn't really need to propose a lot.
Yeah, and now that V-Trigger's update from Crisp, I will have to say the corner will be required for Crisp to make this comeback now against Metro. Metro, though, with V-Skill 2 reversal, could cancel into V-Trigger 1 and get out of the corner for free. Whether or not it happens now remains to be seen. Instead, it's a walk under Metro, so aware, recognizing how many players, when faced with the necessity of making offense happen now, will corner themselves with a jump in just to get a back throw opportunity to stun or kill you with. Metro's like, forget that. I'm just going to walk over to the other side, counter hit you when you land, mashing that throw or whatever you had planned.
And something that I also want to point out about Metro was that he was probably never going to take on that situation at the end of the first round, because he knew that if he got shimmy, that was it for him. So he just opted to take that throw. But now looks like we have a much more neutral heavy second round, and just goes for the dash into the command grab. And now
conditioning the commentator into believing that this round would be neutral focused the whole time. No, we're just setting expectations.
Yeah.
And Metro's cashing in some free confirmable damage off of safe, reliable buffers. Although V-Skill 2 got punished, Cammy, with the privileged walk speed, able to move forward and counter hit it. Crisp finds his drill punish too, saving the last V-Trigger 1 use for some dive kick action, perhaps. Nice to get the opportunity to go in. A tick low into throw tech for Metro, perfect defensive choice. And well on their way to killing with one more VT1 buffer. Cammy with a 925 life just won't be able to survive a fierce into VT1 EX Barcelona. It won't happen.
Yeah, that's right. And we saw Crisp spending one bar to try and close this gap between him and Metro. And Metro, he's just happy playing this laid-back game. He knows he has the live lead. It's not going to be enough to kill, but he's going to spend 2 bars. And with 10 seconds on the clock, this is probably it for Crisp.
It proved to be so. And whether it was going to be time or the lack of a block on Vega's cross-up jump light kick, Metro M was in perfect control for the entirety of that last game. That was a very interesting 2-1 set for the pace of the match. Both players definitely agreed to walk back and forth, flex those advanced footsies, high-speed walking neutral game plan, but Metro had committed to the defensive style throughout, where Crisp ended up having to rely on Cammy's VT1 to make comebacks in rounds that they lost the chance to contend in the war of attrition.
Ooh, and now we're gonna have once again Flux. We saw Flux getting knocked down into the losers bracket by none other than it was the Poison Killer man himself.
Oh, I got it. I was right there with you. I promise. It was Rob TV.
Yeah, Rob TV. Hollywood. Rob TV.
Hollywood's global, by the way. Casa is officially 90210 Beverly Hills, Hollywood. That's our PO box. You can send us sweet printed photographs of you and Casa merch. Don't forget to check out our wonderful merchandise pages. I'm sure a streamer or production person can link you to one of those. Maybe we have a chat command for it. What is it, Teespring? I don't know. Either way, um, enjoy any of that stuff. Enjoy our tournament bracket action. It is continuing right now.
Ooh, now we're gonna have the Manat going up against Rashid, two of the newcomers when it comes to the Street Fighter franchise.
Oh yeah, Street Fighter 5 popular characters here. I mean, I think I've seen more fan art of these two than like Fawn, Nikali, even Laura combined. Oh, definitely Fall. I mean, Laura. Maybe there's a case for Laura.
Maybe there's the case for Laura, but I'm not gonna lie, I really like Manat. She's cute. I like her. And Rashid, he's also a super cool character, so I wouldn't be surprised if that statement that you just said turns out to be true. And now Flux with a huge life lead against Luca, but Luca with the activation just put Flux in the corner.
And so far on that Stand Medium Punch counter hit, I wonder if Luka Doncic needed to use Stand Fierce there. If that's a longer range cancel than Rashid Crouch Medium Kick. Rashid V-Skill on reaction to an orb set. It's giving Luka Doncic the momentum they need to try to make a comeback. And in the air, Hitman not killing on the throw, perhaps? No, alive. Chip situation, but there's V-Shift, there's Super. Instead, it was Stand Medium Punch already committed to from Flux. Flux must have wanted a VT1 activation into what they thought was going to be their chip situation. Stand Medium Punch into VT1 is very popular for her, so that super could have been a read from Luka Doncic. I definitely doubt that Stand Medium Punch was on a reaction to Super Flash from Flux. Flux knows better about the rules that Rashid super sets. It's one of the most invincible supers in the game.
Oof, nice rush counter on the side of Flux, but the B reversal, allowing Luca to just get out of that sticky situation. And now he's got Flux in the corner. Nice anti-air on the side of Luca. Oh,
and the baited super, full punish, and okay, stun on the launch to the mixer. The scaling's pretty high, but nothing wrong with this Oki from Rashid, let me tell you. Plenty of ways to cover these wake-up options. A throw bait to completely envelop Flux's life bar in red. This is a nightmare matchup right now. It is one that you either have to like have your family wake you up from with a pot of cold water, or just like take some time, lay in your bed, stare at the wall, go to character select and look at a wall of characters. Yeah, it is character select from FluxWaves right now. And FluxWaves has a whole wide arsenal of characters to choose from. Poison could be an option if you want to stay committed to that zoning style against Rashid. I know I've seen FluxWaves play Minot against the Rashid of Squall, for example. And then Squall counterpicked Minot with Nikali. And then that made Flux return to either Mika, although we haven't seen much Mika from Flux this season, perhaps not as popular in the V-Shift era. But I'm interested either way. Like, at no point can I make my bet on the expectations. Oh, it's Poison. Okay, cool. That was one of the characters I mentioned, probably the first. And don't forget, you can buy Rose.
Yeah, and all of her costumes, let's see if she gets as lucky as Chun-Li with a bunch of costumes for you to buy, but now looks like Flux, he's going to be going with his already super well-known Poison, but look at Don, he's got Flux in the corner, trying to get out of a tough situation with the Bishop. Now the crush counter for Flux, it's going to give him some damage and some good screen position.
Classic Poison throw bait setup. Rashid still willing to respect it, despite having this 3-frame option blocked. The Poison 3-frame, knowing how potent that frame trap is. Guaranteed Oki trapping Rashid after back rise. I mean, that's a 50-50 strike throw mix-up setup from like 3/4 of the way across the screen. Luca has to keep that in mind. Maybe choose quick rise for the next time. Change the advantage on that Molotov. Make it hit less meaty.
Oh, now with the back throw, Luca done. He's at a life disadvantage, but it's not that huge, so you know he can take this second round against Flux. But Flux with a pretty good neutral game, or just catching that attempt of getting in on the side of Luca. Down on these anti-airs on the side of Flux have been so on point.
There's the 3-frame trade that time. That time, Poison chose Crouch Light Punch, the 4-frame option, versus Rashid 3 in a +1 situation. You know the math. And plenty, we don't even have to do math on counter hit Crouch Medium Punch. That button, my god. The combo that Poison went for is a non-counter hit combo. Works either way, there's nothing wrong with it, but Crouch Medium Punch for Poison on counter hit, I mean, she can stand fierce after it. And it can be mediated with one of its 5 active frames, can cover both wake-ups, makes it one of the best anti-airs in the game. You can tell already how this pick is working out so much more effectively for Flux Waves, who's also more familiar with this character in this season and has more tournament experience too.
Oh, and now we are on the very last game before we get into our top 8 action. And look at that, just keeping on the pressure. And Flux, he was trying to go for that anti-air, but the little delay that the Eagle Spike gives Rashid messed his anti-air up.
Yeah, and I think a big combo drop from Luka Doncic ended up with him cornering himself. So Luka now taking a lot of Grey Life. I think Flux is trying to make this comeback the old-fashioned way. Despite having V-Trigger 1, yeah, here comes the Molotov. I was going to say, though, that I like how Flux Wave doesn't immediately cancel to Molotov and keeps the option threatening, you know? Make sure you don't know what to expect regardless of the resources communicating to you with the HUD on the screen.
Oh, and now look at down in the corner. Both missed their throw. Now using the B reversal to get out of that corner. It's not going to be enough. The chip!
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Absolutely guaranteed. Excellent decision from Luka Doncic. You don't have much time to check the resources after a Rashid Eagle Spike lands, but Luka's eyes are quickly looking at the meter, seeing that there's no V-shift threat to go around the super. There's no invincible option from Poison, so the chip was guaranteed.
Now Flux just waking up with problems. But Lucadon just opting to block. Nice crush counter on the side of Lucadon. Goes for the forward throw.
You know, this matchup presents an interesting curiosity. Who will build their resources faster? Rashid with his V meter for V reversals to get around Poison's EX heart rate, or Poison with EX meter to keep using EX heart rate and taking Rashid's V meter? It's been a mostly V triggerless run for Luka Doncic in this matchup so far, and it has taken them to a set point against Flux, who's fighting back right now, and it's just about to kill. One more hit after this. That combo would have killed last season for sure. And that, my friends, is the most busted normal in the game right now. It is intended to be busted, quite literally disjointed from Poison's body. That whip travels so far in the air, it's really difficult to anti-air properly and not get a trade.
And now we are on the very last round before top 8 action. And look at Don just trying to find a way to get in on Flux, but Flux, he's just content with this laid-back game. He already has a pretty good life lead that he built pretty much just by poking Lucadon. It's not going to be enough to kill, but it's going to put Lucadon on a pretty bad situation. Woof.
Yeah, excellent call on it not killing. I was right there with you, but the low crouch fierce, a tool that didn't see too much use throughout the set, but one that has to be respected at all times nonetheless because it is simply an unreactable low. There were even some close-range hits of that normal for Flux Waves earlier, and Flux Waves, despite being -1 on hit, would press their 3-frame after a 3-frame jab, and my oh my was Luka Doncic respecting it. So take a lesson here. Respect the low property of the normal. Try to block in those situations, but never respect if it happens to land on hit. And that's will bring you one very tiny step closer to being able to handle a titan of a Poison player like Flux Waves, who gets to make loser's side top 8 in Casa tonight. An achievement for them, but not the one they're used to making as a typical winner's top 8 placer. For those of you that follow Casa narrative action, I think Flux Waves is our winningest player. They still have a chance, but it's going to be more difficult for them now, and that makes the possibility of the victory even more exciting. And we're going to bring in some new commentators for you to witness that just after. Yeah, is that? I think that's happening now. It is about 9:52. All right. Yeah. So we're going to get out of here. Signing off. Thank you for the assurance. I appreciate it. I'm busy talking and not reading. And, you know, good luck to everyone reading their opponents. For those of you that have made top 8 tonight and are listening to the stream, I appreciate it. I appreciate every spectator. I'm Monkey Business. I'm signing off. Here's Captain Zig. who I have delightfully enjoyed tonight. What an excellent time we had, right?
Yeah, it was a pretty good time, man. I also enjoyed my time here today with you. It was a lot of fun. We had a lot of great matches here today in this week's edition of Casa. So yeah, thanks for having me here, man. It was super fun.
Hey, Captain Zig, let's say we got some prospective listeners who are trying to catch you commentating in Spanish, particularly Mexican Spanish. Where can they find you and listen to you?
They can find me at Ramiro underscore Capsig on Twitter, and I think that I have the exact same name here on Twitch in case you want to hear some Spanish commentary, specifically Ciudad de Mexico Spanish, which a lot of people in Mexico don't really like because they are envious of us. But yeah, you can find
Well,
me there on Twitter.
I dropped a link in the chat. Thank you so much, Captain Zig. And let's get out of here. Let's let the Casa professionals. That is Brad Muse and Doc. The doctor is in. He's about to be in as soon as we leave. We're making space for him now. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Good night and see you later.
Peace.